Hi, I'm Joss.
Hi, I'm Claudia.
And this is the Let's Get Down to Business podcast.
We're two cousins on opposite ends of the globe with a lot of opinions about figure skating.
And we're here to deliver the news, recaps, and responsibly socially distanced like Yuzuru Hanyu and his Kiss and Cry Pooh Bear.
Merry Christmas! Hi guys! We are back from our little hiatus, and boy, was this an eventful Christmas period. Insane.
I think folks who stayed up to watch Japanese and Russian nationals here in States literally did not sleep for like 4 consecutive days. I was not one of those people. I slept and watched it afterwards.
Oh, me too. I mean, luckily being in Sydney, Jap Nats was like a good time for me, but I mean, I still had so much Russian nationals to catch up on that I was just like, I'll do it tomorrow. but we ended up getting through it all. So this will be our first of 3 episodes covering what went down in the Christmas period. We're going to start with Japanese nationals. But how was your Christmas, Joss?
Our Christmas was extremely uneventful. I live in California, so we're literally locked all the way down, although probably like 50 to 75% of people are totally not listening to that lockdown. We're basically not allowed out besides essential services, so we just kind of chilled at home. We went for a quick walk by ourselves, but that's basically it. We've been FaceTiming with various people, so that's been nice, but overall very unexciting. How was your Christmas?
Much of the same, to be honest. I think everyone was kind of prepared for it to be a more subdued Christmas, so I just ate. I was just like, Christmas, great,
full
food. Food, feasts, pretty much. So I was like 3 consecutive days of food, and I'm like, I'm not complaining.
All right, so with that being said, why don't we move into the skating festivities of Christmas weekend?
We shall. How about, let's start off with Japanese World Team announcements.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. I mean, it was pretty simple. It was the Japanese national podium. So for ladies, we have Rika Kihira, Satoko Miyahara, and Kaori Sakamoto. For men, we have Yuzuru Hanyu, Yuma Kageyama, and Shoma Uno. And for dance, we have one team, Misato Komatsubara and Tim Coletto. And for pairs, even though we did not have a pairs event here or at NHK Trophy, we have one team as well, Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara. I mean, that is if we even have Worlds this year.
Yes, definitely.
Exactly. Like in last episode, we were saying that they were potentially planning something like a bubble that they had at Skate America. So they would be quarantining at the hotel, testing for COVID, and eating, drinking, sleeping, training, everything in the hotel venue. But since then, we have not heard anything from the ISU regarding further plans about that. So I guess that's with an asterisk of if Worlds happens this season.
Definitely. And I think a couple of people were concerned about, Worlds because there are certain people from certain countries who who approach COVID with a more lax strategy, let's say, and who aren't the best with mask wearing. And I think, if it happens in a bubble, then, the rules should be the same for everyone and hopefully everyone follows them. But, I mean, you could also argue that, a certain team, most of them have had COVID, so, just buddy up with them and just exchange, COVID antibodies.
Oh my gosh, disgusting.
Don't do that.
Don't
that was
do
a
that.
joke,
Don't,
guys.
No one do that, please.
Joke.
Yeah.
Big joke.
But yeah, so I guess congratulations to all the members of the Japanese Worlds team if that happens this year.
Yeah, what do you think about Worlds happening or not happening? I think that I'd be fine either way. I just want the skaters to be safe. This is already a weird enough season. I think if Worlds got cancelled, then we'd all be like, yeah, we saw that coming. But if Worlds went on, we'd be like, let's hope everyone stays safe, but like, yay skating, even though it's been a weird season. Who knows what to expect?
I mean, considering our general attitude towards COVID here in the States, I am very surprised that I feel, I guess, the most impressed with the way that the States has handled skating competitions compared to the rest of the world. Like, for the ISP Points Challenge, like the very first thing that we covered this season, everything was done via video. And for Skate America, everyone was quarantined, stayed at, ate at, slept at, competed at the Orleans Hotel in Las Vegas. That's where they're having nationals this year as well. But I think that out of all the countries, the States demonstrated, a lot of consideration to how they were doing competitions. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we just want athletes to be safe. If that means canceling Worlds, then so be it. If that means having Worlds in a very secluded bubble, so be it. But considering the way that Russia has...
Not naming names, though.
Not naming names or anything. But considering how they have treated COVID and their attitude towards COVID, I feel worried for folks who have to stay in a bubble with those athletes that, have demonstrated an alarming, not considerate attitude towards COVID. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, I know. And me as an Australian looking from the outside to everywhere, I am also surprised that the US has been the most considerate in their competitions and be some sort of like, I don't know, example to everyone else.
Yeah, the U.S. is just a shining paragon of COVID responsibility, aren't we? That was sarcasm. We're not a shining paragon of COVID responsibility whatsoever. But anyways.
Yes. I guess also before we get into the nitty gritty of what happened in terms of skating over the weekend, we want to congratulate Yuzuru Hanyu on graduating from university. Absolutely great accomplishment. Just to add to his insane list of other accomplishments. Like, the guy can do it all, can't he? His graduation thesis was, like, insane because it sounds so fun to me. So it was, like, around the topic of 3D motion capture technology being used in figure skating. And I think he also said that in the future, he hopes that an AI-based scoring system could be incorporated using new technology. And I'm like, girl, you're not allowed to have that much talent.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it's unfair to everybody else.
The first thing that I thought of when I heard that he graduated was, did he like take a little mini Pooh plushie and glue gun it onto his graduation hat for his Zoom graduation?
Oh my God. That would be the cutest thing ever. Oh, I reckon he did.
That's a fanfic in my head.
No, it's canon now. We've said it, so it's canon.
It's canon. There's the Pooh Bear on the graduation cap.
Oh, that Pooh Bear does look so fluffy though, so I'm a stan. Okay, so let's start off with talking about... Let's start with ice dance, shall we?
Yes, let's do that. So the podium at Japanese Nationals looked very much like the podium at NHK Trophy. Basically, NHK Trophy was a warm-up to Japanese Nationals. So
yes.
Why don't we start with our bronze medalists, Rikako Fukasi and Eichu Cho. They are actually pretty interesting because their outing here was pretty similar to NHK, apart from their very unfortunate fall. But I think it's really interesting.
I know.
Yeah, it was very, very unfortunate. It seemed like a fluke. It didn't seem like something that was happening all the time. It didn't happen at NHK, but I think that they're a pretty interesting pair because I'm interested to see the direction that they go, because they are actually not eligible for the Olympics next year because of Cho's citizenship. So I'm interested to kind of see where they're going to be going next season and what they plan on doing.
Oh, citizenship woes.
Yes.
Sigh. So he is originally Canadian, which is why, but yeah, I mean, they are relatively young. They're both 23, so, I reckon they still have another Olympic cycle in them, which will do them, I think that will do them well, having that extra time to mature and grow and all of that jazz.
Yeah. Let's move to our silver medalists. the esteemed Daisuke Takahashi and Kana Muramoto. It was actually really interesting because apparently Daisuke fell during practice, and there was a lot of talk about Kana potentially sustaining an injury to her leg or her foot. Everyone was abuzz about that, but luckily it seemed to be okay in competition. There didn't seem to be any kind of like leg related things going on, so sigh of relief for that.
Big sigh of relief. But did you notice, because it was very noticeable for me, the improvement in Daisuke's skating? He looked so much more confident, just in terms of like his deportment, but also in his skating skills and ice dance skills, like the footwork in his lift. Good job, Daisuke. Like, every time he comes out on the ice as an ice dancer, it shocks me. I'm like, you at 34, which is like not old by any means, but still picking up ice dance, which is like a different world from single skating completely, and like coming out and just doing so well. Like, what?
I know, it's wild. I still like do a double take every time I see his name next to ice dance. I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, I know, right? But in the rhythm dance, they skated to the Marx soundtrack, which I love. They got a yes, no, no, no for their key points of the fin step, which, I mean, look, I don't expect Daisuke to be hitting all of his key points at this stage, but, you know, I'm just happy to see him smiling and happy and constantly improving. So, like, that's great.
Yeah, he definitely didn't look like the gears were turning, you know? Like, I mean, they were turning, but, you know, like you couldn't tell from his face and the way that he would transition in and out of elements. And also, he didn't fall on his twizzles this time. High five.
Very, very true. But he did fall in the free dance, or like quote unquote fell, but didn't touch the ice. But they did get a 1 point deduction out of the stationary lift, which was, it was just like messy footwork, but you know, but didn't touch the ice. So like, we're good there, right?
Yeah, their discourse and conversation about it afterwards was like, oh my gosh, like it's okay. It was very comforting hearing that they were both, you know, trying to comfort each other after the fact. And obviously no one was blaming each other, but just hearing and reading what they were saying to each other, I was like, this is a good team. I like it. I appreciate it. They
absolutely
support each other.
And it's so cute, the support. I think everyone just loves it. So whatever. Honestly, they could just skate to the middle of the ice and just, I don't know, do arm movements, and we'd all be like, oh, we love you guys.
Yes, Daisuke's back. We'll still be talking about the fact that he's back.
100%. Let's move on to our gold medalists, Misato Komatsubara and Tim Coletto. Okay, there was a thing about their rhythm dance that we saw on Twitter. So first of all, I do love the Dreamgirls soundtrack. It's so great. They do it so well. But they got given yes for their key points. But there was some discourse on Twitter from at WTF Ice Dance, love the handle, that Komatsubara and Coletto's fin step was not called so correctly. They said that there were a few timing errors, and there was an argument for like a level 2 call instead of a level 4. But at the end of the day, I think that given that Misato and Tim train at IM, there is definitely going to be like hammering and training on getting all those key points out. Because one thing is for sure is that everybody from Montreal knows how to cleanly do a fin step and get at least a level 3 in that. So, I mean, I just enjoyed their performance anyhow.
Yes, I think they're also very sweet. You can definitely tell that they have a lot of chemistry and they have a good relationship. I think that, oh my gosh, Tim was kind of like providing like live tweeting / commentary. And my favorite tweet of his was, "The rink playing Afterglow by Taylor Swift. We have to stan."
Yes, Tim.
And I mean, yes, very true. We do have to stan. Yes, Tim.
He should do more live tweets when he and Misato retire from skating, like far into the future. he should just make a business of live tweeting, because like I will follow that any day of the week.
I mean, he should have our jobs. Not that this is either of our jobs. He should have our hobby. You can have our microphones, Tim. You can have our microphones.
You can come on the pod and join us. We'd love to have you on.
Yeah, that would be pretty great.
Alrighty. So Masato and Tim are going to Worlds. And let's move on to the gigantic men's event. And before we start, this was insane because before the short program, there were 5 groups. And like a world or an international competition, there was the whole only 24 skaters meet the free program card. And I was just like, holy shit, the depth in Japanese men and ladies it's insane.
It's wild. There were so many skaters. I was like, I wish we could talk about every single one of you, but we're not going to. But only 24 men made the free skate. But I just think that is such a testament to the depth of the field and how many up-and-coming skaters there are. I'm so interested to see kind of who is going to shine in the future, because I really enjoyed seeing all of them and seeing that there were so many of them, even kind of during this specific time in this specific season.
I know, right? And how about we start with a little young bean who can be called an up-and-comer, even though like he's pretty already there. And that is Yuma Kageyama, our bronze medalist. What did you think about his performance here at Nationals?
I think that, I mean, obviously he's the same skater. He just has such a nice spring. He's just kind of like a bouncy little, like a Slinky, like from Toy Story.
Oh, yes! He is. He's so small, but like the spring he gets is just almost incomprehensible. It's
wild.
I want those legs. It's so wild. So his short program was to Vokushin and the Silk Road Ensemble, choreographed by Laurie Nicole, and that quad sow double toe. I was just like, that's spring.
This is great. This is great spring. He just has such nice flow across the ice. I was like, oof, this is beautiful. He just has great musicality. His rhythm is so nice. I really enjoy watching his skating. I know I say this all the time, but like I think that if someone who has not been watching skating for a long time and just kind of like turned on the TV, I think that this is someone that, you know, just like a casual, non all the time skating viewer would really enjoy.
Absolutely. And I feel like he reminds me of like half of Shoma, because number one, he's so small, but also he's got great knee bend, but also somewhat of like he's got some Yuzu in him, just like from the spring in his jumps and the way he kind of like glides along the ice. But he's 17. When he hits his peak, he's gonna be insane. Yeah,
he is going to be amazing. I did the free skate costume. Still, I am confusion about this.
Yeah. I think I figured out the dark green costume. He is a small shrub in the forest, in the Avatar forest. That
in Pandora.
He's just a little small shrub in Pandora, exactly. So that's all I've got, really.
I just feel like after Rastelicum, after seeing the exhibition where Morrissey literally painted himself blue, I just have such higher standards for programs to movie soundtracks with blue characters. Like, it's just elevated my standards so much that I see this green costume and I'm like, I like green. Green's a great color. But really, we need more commitment here.
Where is your dedication? Like, you know what, Morrissey, just fly over to Japan, give Yuma some of your blue face paint and body paint. And
the blue body paint.
The body paint. Like, okay, I don't think we have expressed our love of blue Morrissey Kvitolashvili. So, Morrissey as the genie from Aladdin, he was doing an exhibition program to a friend like me at the Rastelicum Cup exhibition, and we just lost our minds. Look, the dude even got an Instagram filter, like, that makes people's faces blue. Like, come on, this is peak figure skating, ladies and gentlemen. We are sorry that we haven't put out our Rastelicum Cup exhibition episode that we promised last time, but
it'll come
we
eventually.
Are expressing our love for this program. or you'll hear us talk about this for forever because we are obsessed. And Yuma, honestly, follow in Maurice's footsteps. I think he would be happy to help you out. Blue face paint, blue body paint for Avatar. I will pay for this.
If Yuma ends up in the Swedish world skating bubble, we expect there to be blue body paint in his COVID quarantine suite.
Exactly. Exactly. Blue mask, blue body paint, everything.
So with that being said, why don't we move to our silver medalist? Oh my gosh, the return of Shoma Uno, and also Shoma Uno with Stephane Lambiel.
Okay, can I just say, I think Stephane being in Japan was the source of a lot of my happiness and excitement for Japanese nationals.
Oh my gosh, I feel like Shoma working with him has just transformed his skating,
100%.
his attitude, everything. Like, he's just done so much good for Shoma and them working together. They shared a large embrace when Shoma got off the ice. He was smiling so much more. Shoma did an interview saying that he figured out some strategies to not panic and outwardly do skating math after he popped a jump and to not get so down on himself. He was saying that this is the happiest that he's been about competing in a long time. And he's trying to enjoy training and skating with a different purpose, especially in this season, because he realized that what he was doing, like especially last season, wasn't working out for him. It was making him really upset. So this is just like a totally different Shoma. And I'm so glad, because sad Shoma is not the Shoma that we want to see.
Exactly. And I have in my notes just seeing Shoma smile and happy after his program, just it lit my heart up, because we know what he went through and the struggles that he had with skating in general. And after he's been training with Stephane, you can really see a shift in his attitude, and obviously that translates to his skating. So I'm just super happy that he's back and in this form, because it's so nice to see. So in his short program, which was to Great Spirit by Armin van Buuren, which is very Shoma and Stephane. Like, I can see Stephane skating to this, which is great. So he had a gorgeous quad flip off the top, and that's back and looking better than ever. But he fell on his quad toe, but had a killer triple axel, and then a banger of a step sequence at the end. I love it. I just think this is a really good short program for him. He looks like he's having so much fun and not constricted to any style and just being himself. So that's great. And the free program. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We got a clean Shoma. Woohoo! All of the jumps were clean. There were a few kind of like itsy bitsy bobbles on the landings, but quad flip looked amazing. The knees were all there. His knee bend is always just chef's kiss. But like I said before, so nice to see him happy and just celebrating after a clean long program.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny because I was looking at this interview, or I guess like set of quotes from Shoma on Twitter. And apparently, so in the free program, there was a combo that was a quad toe, single toe. And apparently at that point, Stephane was like screaming at him to do something. Otherwise, he would leave a whole bunch of points on the table for like not doing a combo after the quad toe. I guess Stephane thought it was off when he landed, and he was like, Shoma, do something, do a single toe or do something. And then Shoma just did a single toe because Stephane was screaming at him to do something, do a single toe. And then he did a single toe. And it was so nice. And it really kind of like spoke to how beautiful and transformative their relationship was. And also just
Absolutely.
kind of like a funny way.
Definitely. And Stephane in the kiss and cry, it's so cute to see him like so supportive, and just to see Stephane like with Shoma and with Rika it was so nice.
Yeah, he was honestly one of the best parts of this nationals. I mean, there were many, many good parts. Obviously, a lot of people that were skating for the first time this season, but Stephane was such a highlight here.
Definitely. Okay, and another highlight, of course, was Yuzuru Hanyu with 2 new programs to show everybody.
Oh my gosh.
And it doesn't look like he went anywhere. Like,
No.
COVID, what? Like, university thesis writing graduation, what? Like, he just came out and was just like, yeah, I'm back, bitches.
Let me tell you, when I was doing things for university in undergrad, it was not even like a thesis. It was like doing a stupid assignment that was worth like 5%. I like wouldn't eat. I wouldn't shower. I was like, I have to get this done. But he apparently can like train, learn new programs. Like, this man is superhuman, I'm telling you. I also think that he is just such a great advocate for COVID awareness and safety. He literally took every opportunity he had in interviews, in the kiss and cry, when he was warming up, to demonstrate that everyone should exercise COVID safety and precautions. For example, my personal favorite, social distancing.
Everyone's personal
favorite. Social distancing with Pooh Bear and the kiss and cry. I was like, this is the most precious moment of this season, apart from Shoma do a single toe.
And okay, I'm going to interject with something Russian, but it's like really, really quick. And there was a really similar moment at Russian Nationals where Anna Frolova was in, not the kiss and cry, it was the green room. And she was just sitting there because she was the leader. And she, you know how everyone has like the plush tissue boxes? She was grabbing hers and she was putting a mask around it. And like, she was like unaware of the camera. And then she was like, oh, camera's on me. And she's like, let's fix your mask. And she pulled it up to the screen and was just like, hey, here you go. And it was the cutest thing ever. So like,
oh my gosh.
I love all of this like example of social distancing with like plushies. It's so great.
It's so unfortunate because that tissue box was probably the only person wearing a mask in that entire arena properly.
Wearing a mask correctly.
Really,
thank you, Anna Frolova.
It really says something to the COVID precautions that the only person wearing a mask properly is an inanimate object.
But yes, Yuzu is just, he's a bit too perfect for words, isn't he? And Let Me Entertain You by Robbie Williams, choreographed by Jeff Buttle, is also, in my eyes, so perfect. I absolutely love this program. I was legit just thinking about how I wanted Yuzu to do another rock program similar to Parisian Walkways, because like we've seen Seimei and Chopin like a million times and they are great programs, don't get me wrong, but I was just like, Yuzu doing like rock music is something else, right? And boy, were we entertained.
Yeah, he was saying in an interview that he wanted to like bring light to this year and this season especially.
Aww.
I don't think he was talking about like this program, but I think he was just talking about like coming back to skating and competing in general. And he was like, you know, like these are really dark times. We are feeling isolated. We are feeling uninspired and unmotivated. And he was like, I hope that my performance and my competing here can bring some light to everyone because people really need it during these times. And I was like,
oh, how sweet.
Precious man. Love him.
Absolutely precious. What did you think about his short program?
Okay, first of all, I was just like watching it the first time. I was not even watching like for the elements or anything. I was just like sitting there like staring at it. So I had to watch it like 3 different times to actually like look at what was going on. But I think everything was, oh my gosh, my biggest gripe this season when the elements are not timed nicely to the music. Everything was timed so nicely. I was like, Jeffrey, thank you, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey Buttle. Girl, I love Jeff Buttle with all of my heart, and his choreography is so great. That triple axel bang on the music. I was like, holla frickin' Lugia.
It was so nice. And Shake Your Ass was also perfectly timed to Shake Your Ass.
Shake Your Ass is just, it's brilliant in every single way. It's so good.
So brilliant.
I love it.
I think I've seen this program like 5 or 6 times already.
Definitely. And of course, like that quad sow saved by a spread eagle exit, like I was like, lol, only him.
Only Yuzu. Who else? No one else.
Definitely. And he showed amazing duality because in his free skate, it was To Heaven and Earth by Isao Tomita, with a beautiful costume. It looked so gorgeous.
Oh, obsessed.
Obsessed. And
Obsessed.
look, okay, I have to say, I'm not too sure about Shaylin's choreography and the music, but Yuzu took it to another level, like always. He puts like 150% into whatever he does, whatever character he plays, and he just gives it that extra something, you know what I mean? And it was lovely to watch. And I was half of my notes are like, nope, it looks too easy. Like, it's unfair. Like, the quad loop looked like a bloody triple loop. Like, just, this is stupid level genius.
Yeah, and while he was training for this, he was also writing his thesis.
Oh, don't remind me. Like, I need another reason to feel so inept, right? Everyone's like, what did you do during lockdown? And we're like, I don't know, 8. And Yuzu's just like, well, I put together 2 new programs. I got a quad loop really consistent. And I also did my graduation thesis. And you're like, Jesus.
The only multitasking I'm doing right now is literally eating chocolate-covered almonds and drinking a White Claw at the same time. Those are the only 2 things that I've been able to do at the same time. And not even really at the same time. It's really like alternating. So does that really count?
I've just been alternating between sleeping and eating. So, like, I feel super productive all the time.
But yeah, I think that, you know, I always enjoy Shaylin's choreography. You know, just seeing what Shaylin has been you know, it could be ABBA. It's not ABBA. I think this is great. I think Yuzu does it amazingly. And it's not the ABBA. So I'm sorry. I will be forever salty about the ABBA.
Look, I think we love Shaylin and we know she's a great choreographer, but just this season's programs just haven't really been hitting it. They haven't, like, from Nathan's to ABBA to Aliana Costonaya's, like.
But this one, I really like this one. This one is great.
This one, I like this one mainly because I think Yuzu he loses himself in the music and he just adds that extra dimension of, like, character and performance. But yeah, look, I'm really glad we got to see 2 new programs. So
it was one of the highlights, if not like the highlight of the season. So good. So good, so good.
Shake your ass, baby.
Shake your ass, baby. That should be the episode title. Episode 11. Shake your ass, baby.
I wouldn't mind.
We have to redo the graphics.
Damn it. Okay, that's my multitasking.
So we are actually coming to you from the future now. We're talking about this after we finished recording our episode, but I think that this is something that's really valid that we wanted to bring up that people have been talking about and doing a deep dive and analysis on the internet right now. But it seems to have come to light, I mean, obviously from the skating scores, that there was an invalid element in Yuzu's short program. And we wanted to talk a little bit more about the analysis and what people are saying that has been going on today after we finished recording.
Yeah, so in the skating protocols, in Yuzu's short program, he got a V put next to his ending sit spin, and that pretty much says the element was invalid. And I think the thing was that he had a twizzle transition before his sit change sit, and the twizzle was one of those, like, sit twizzles. And this, Jackie Wan did, like, an in-depth dive on it. So go check out at Rocker Skating if you want to read more about it. But there's, like, so to get a feature in a spin, you have to have at least 2 revolutions. And I think the JSF were like in the sit spin, you start counting the 2 revolutions when the leg is parallel to the ice. And, like, immediately my skater brain goes, girl, no. Like, there are skaters who can't get their leg parallel or straight, or, like, there are different sit variations where the leg isn't necessarily, like, parallel to the ice. Like, what do we mean by this? And, like, most skaters originally, you know, when they train, they go, okay, if we need minimum 2 revolutions, we count minimum 3 in our head. So we just ensure that. And I think there was something about like the theory, as Jackie Wong put it, was that the twizzle transition before the spin was counted as the actual sit spin because like the twizzles didn't travel enough to be counted as twizzles, so it was like a spin. And that is a load of BS in my opinion, because go watch the video. There is choreography after the sit twizzles. The sit twizzles, that's what I'm going to call it. And at least to me, they traveled fine. He didn't, I can see why many people are mad about it. Because, if that theory is true, that the twizzles before, the twizzle transitions before the spin were, counted as a sit spin, that is a load of bullshit. And yeah, Yuzu spins quite fast and transitions between his sit spin positions fast, but I don't think it's invalid. I get the frustration about it.
I don't think it should have been called invalid either. I think that they were being very, very strict, extremely strict, and they don't need to be that strict because they weren't that strict on anyone else. And it's so unfortunate that it's Yuzu. I'm why are you being so strict on him? It doesn't make any sense. You should literally be promoting one of your best athletes, if not your best athlete in the field right now. It's so unfortunate, and we just wanted to kind of insert this note here to let you guys know that this was going on and that people were talking about it. So this is us coming to you from the future to let you know that this is going on. And now we are going to go back to our episode.
See you soon, guys. Okay, how about we also shout out a couple of the other men. So our bronze medalist from NHK Trophy, Lucas Tsuyoshi Honda, he didn't do so well. He landed in 13th place overall, but I just didn't think it was his day or his competition, which was sad because you can see the quality in him. He didn't get third in NHK, for no reason.
I still really, really enjoyed his James Bond program. I think that he
has
that something. I said that when we recorded our NHK episode, is that he brings so much attitude and fire to that James Bond program.
Does.
It just wasn't.
I love it.
Yeah, it just wasn't really his competition this time. Better luck next time. And I think he will do better next time. It just wasn't his day.
And that's okay. That rhymed unintentionally.
Most days it's not really my day. So Lucas only had one bad day.
Yeah. Kao Miura, the 15-year-old, came 7th. He was not feeling good for his short program. There was a hard fall on the quad sow. He face planted on the triple axel.
It was a very unfortunate fall, considering that Michael Bublé just continued to croon in the background. That he was feeling good. This did not look like it felt very good, so yes.
No, it didn't. Kazuki Tomono came in 6th. He did all right. A few issues here and there, in the short program, a fall on the quad sow. But this is insane because these are great skaters, and you're oh, you came in 6th and 7th, and you're oh my god, the field, it is so deep.
Yeah, this is 6th or 7th in a field of 30 skaters that we originally started with at the beginning of the short program, and then dwindled down to obviously 24 in the free skate. So yeah, 6th or 7th is literally top tier. So let's move on to our 5th place finisher, Shun Sato, our 16-year-old. My favorite soundtrack, Pirates of the Caribbean, for his short program. But yeah, the short program was okay. There was kind of an iffy landing. Iffy landing on the triple Lutz triple toe combo. But a very nice opening quad toe.
Yeah, okay. If you guys didn't listen to our NHK Trophy, Shun Sato has one of the best ISU bio hobbies in the entire world. It is take care of Demican, one kind of goldfish. And he is so small, and he's got such spring and talent. You can definitely see that in his free program and short program to Pirates of the Caribbean because it's great. Yeah. I mean, 5th place, really, really decent considering the field, and we are definitely going to see more of him in the future.
Definitely. I also petitioned for Shun Sato to have a goldfish tissue box in the Kiss and Cry.
Etsy people. Get
Etsy
on
folks.
it.
And it should have a pirate eye patch.
Girl, this is our second business. That's what we're going to do.
Not that we have a first business. This is our first
Exactly.
business. This is our business. Our only business is making one kind of tissue box. That's our business.
One kind of tissue box for one kind of goldfish. We love you, Shunsato.
Oh my gosh. Our fourth place finisher here was Keiji Tanaka. One of my favorite sets of programs here. His short program is to Hip Hip Chin Chin, and I love a Hip Hip Chin Chin. And his free skate is to Sherlock Holmes.
We also love this soundtrack. We love all of this. It's so good. He came in fourth, and I think obviously there are like little tidbits he could improve on, but overall, great skates.
I think that he really enjoyed his Hip Hip Chin Chin this time because he was really giving it in the step sequence.
Girl,
and
that step sequence was fire.
It was so good. I also feel like no one does Hip Hip Chin Chin if they don't really, really want to do Hip Hip Chin Chin. And he really did it. He did pop his quad sal to triple sal. However, he ended up like 40 points behind Shoma. So had he done that quad sal, he wouldn't have been able to catch Shoma at all. So
anyway, I feel like this is another skater who just needs to keep these two programs for eternity.
Seriously.
He looks like he has so much fun doing him, and I love him.
Yeah, I think that he has so much personality. I feel like this is someone that I would invite over for some drinks and to play Cards Against Humanity.
Dude, when you were saying like invite over for some drinks, and I'm like, in my head I was like, oh yeah, and play some card games. And then you were like, Cards Against Humanity. I'm like, we're on the same page here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is totally someone that I would invite over for like some White Claws and Cards Against Humanity and like fire up the barbecue.
Oh.
I don't know if he does any of these things, but we'll just speculate that he enjoys barbecue, White Claws, and Cards Against Humanity.
Hello, that sounds like a really, really good time. So like, oh, we can watch some movies because that's what he says in his ISU bio hobby. Like, that sounds like a great night to me.
That's awesome. I guess that brings us to the end of men's coverage.
Yeah, let's move on to the final discipline, which is ladies, which, just like men, was a huge deep field.
Yeah, really, really deep field. And also some of our favorite humans coming back to skate for the first time this season. The first time that we've seen them skate. And honestly, I feel like we haven't seen these people in like years and years. But that's not true.
I know. Some unfortunate news before the event started was that Mara and Honda withdrew. We always love to see Maren skate, so we hope that she gets better soon.
Yeah, apparently she withdrew from the competition due to some dizziness. Hopefully that's not COVID related, and she moves past this episode quickly.
This episode 11. Sorry, that was...
Oh my gosh. Episode 11, shake your ass.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm like... My specialty is really, really awful puns that like cause people pain. So how about we start with somebody who caused a lot of people pain in the short program, Wakaba Higuchi.
Oh no. Truly sad for her. I was watching the warm-up. I was like, oh, this is going to go so well. She landed her triple axel. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be it. Clean triple axel in short, clean triple axel in the free, but that just didn't happen for her in competition. She ended up 13th in the short program, and it was 13th with a large point gap in between. There was a lot of catching up that she would have had to do in the free skate. And in the free skate, she was 8th with a score of 133.51. It just wasn't enough to catch up in the standings with the mistakes that she made. It makes me so sad that, you know, she didn't make the world's team, and this event in particular was just not great for her. I'm hoping, well, I mean, this season has been pretty much like a wash for a lot of skaters. Obviously, a lot of things don't count, and I'm hoping that next season will be it for her, and because next season it really, really does count, and hopefully things will be potentially back to normal or as close to normal as possible with the vaccine rolling out and people hopefully continuing to follow COVID safety guidelines. But yeah, just overall really, really sad for her. It was a pretty disappointing event.
Yeah, so in the short program, she fell on the triple axel, did triple Lutz, turned out of it, and tagged a double toe on the end. And in the free skate, it was better. So she came 8th in the free skate and pulled herself all the way up to 7th. But she had a big step out on the triple axel. She didn't fall though. But then she went and popped the flip. I was like, yeah. But honestly, I love this free program. I think that if she considers keeping a program for next season, this should be it because it suits her so well. I think the choreo is by Messi Muscali and she does it so well.
It was very, very unfortunate that she popped the flip because that was the combo that was worth the most base value, as a triple flip, double toe, double loop. But that obviously didn't happen. It turned into a single flip, so she left a lot of points on the table there. But like we were saying, there was a large points gap after the short program, so even if she had completed that combo clean, we don't know if she would have been able to catch up. But personally, I like the Sia better than I like the free skate. But I think that when she does it well, she's so happy. Like, I saw her at Skate America, and after she skated that Sia program clean, she was ecstatic. I don't know. There's just like a certain something about her happiness after she skates that program.
Oh, definitely. She was still smiling at the end of this short program. And I was just like, oh, Wakaba, you're still smiling even though the program wasn't great. But no, I know she loves the Bird Set Free program and I like it on her too. But I think like the flamenco would be such an Olympic moment for her.
Oh, yeah, it would.
Like, do you see where I'm coming from?
I do. I honestly think she should keep both programs, but
we wouldn't be mad if that happened.
I wanted Kaori to keep no roots, and we know what happened with that.
Look, she's bringing it back for the Olympic season. Guys, it's not actually true. We don't know it, but I'm just, I'm trying to put it out there into the universe.
Canon. We'll make it.
Yeah, for me, it is canon that she's bringing it back. It's the only reason she didn't keep it this season. It was so she could bring it back. That's what I'm putting out there in the universe. I'm manifesting it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't at me.
Don't at me. But yeah, overall a pretty disappointing weekend for Wakaba. Why don't we move to our next lady here? Let's talk about Mai Mihara.
Oh, blessed Mai. She's just so cute and like beautiful and porcelain fairy-esque, isn't she?
I'm so happy that she's back. I think her skating brings a lot of joy. She skates in a very delicate manner, lithe manner, and I love it. I think that she brings something different to the ice. She truly is just like a little fairy, and I love to see it. Her step sequences are beautiful. I'm just glad to see her uninjured and back and feeling good about her skating. I think that this outing was pretty similar to her outing at NHK. Actually, no big disasters, no tons of points left on the table, and really enjoyed seeing her at both events.
Definitely. She did pop the triple Lutz in the free program to a double Lutz, double toe, double loop sequence, but other than that, she skated pretty well, ended up in 5th.
Yeah, like I was saying, pretty similar outings here and at NHK. I just love the way that she skates, and I'm so glad that she's back and feeling good, and she seemed pretty happy after and satisfied after she was done with her program. So
definitely. And I think one thing I had in my notes was that my face hurts because I just smile whenever she skates. I smile throughout the program.
Oh my gosh, so true. So true. So true.
All right, do you know who else I was smiling throughout the program through? Miss Johanna Yokoi's Tom and Jerry.
Oh my gosh.
Ladies and gents, it's back.
Oh my gosh. I think it's so unfortunate because she does not skate well in the short program. like consistently does not skate well in the short program, and then really has to rein it in for the free skate. After the short program here, she was 16th, and then in the free skate she was 6th. So then overall she was in 8th place, right underneath Wakaba. The points difference between them was less than a point. So, but yeah, I think that if she can really get it together for the short program, I think that she would really rise in the standings.
100%. Like, the Japanese ladies in this event really gave me Russian men vibes in terms of how chaotic everything was. Like, it was chaotic good, though. There was so many instances of ladies doing really well in the short program, then doing really awfully in the free skate, and vice versa. Like, for example, Mariko Yamashita, she had a great short program, came in 4th, and then the free skate was just not good. She came in 13th in the free skate, and that dropped her all the way to 13th overall. And it was an interesting competition for the ladies.
Yes, it was definitely an interesting competition for the ladies. Also very interesting to see kind of who we suspect that JSF is backing, but we'll talk about that when we talk about...
That is a big conversation, Jess.
We'll talk about that when we talk about the individual skaters coming up. But yeah, a lot of chaos, but really nice to see everyone skating here. And it's definitely a different kind of chaos than the Russian men, which is also very welcome. But we'll talk about that when we talk about Russian nationals next episode.
So 9th place was Yuna Shiraiwa, who delivered like decent enough skates. Mana Kawabe came in 6th. She had pretty good skates as well. She attempted triple axels in both the short and the free skate. There were good attempts, but the short she flipped out of. I think she flipped out of it. She might have fallen. I can't exactly remember. But in the free skate, she did fall in it. But the rest of the program was great. But how about, let's talk about our pewter medalists, because pewter now exists for every country, not just the US. That's a joke, guys. And that was little Rino Matsuiki, 16 years old. She looks about 10, and she is so, so cute.
I think this is someone who is really up and coming for Japan. I think that she has a big future ahead of her. Her short program was to the Color Purple soundtrack by Quincy Jones, and her triple flip, triple toe combination was so nice. This whole program, I think, was so nice. And then her triple flip, triple toe again in the free skate was also beautiful.
And yeah, she's... Like I said in the NHK, she reminds me a lot of Baby Mausada. She's such a cutie. Her free program was to Perhaps Love by Jones Denver. She did, at the end of the program, she pulled out a triple sal, triple toe, double toe. And I was just like, Bean, little Bean. And definitely, she's got a bright future ahead of her. She is somebody I feel like JSF is definitely pushing. And, you know, deservedly so, because she definitely has talent, and I can't wait to see her compete in more international events. And oh my gosh, she's 16. That means she can, I think next year she can go senior.
Yeah, that'll be really interesting considering all the other folks who are coming up internationally senior. So
yeah, definitely.
We will see how she holds up compared to everyone else that is coming up senior.
Okay, let's move on to our bronze medalist of the event. Oh, our lovely Satoko Miyahara. Oh, Satoko.
Yeah, this is our first time seeing her this season. The first time really seeing her in a while. The only place that we have really seen her is on Gabby Daleman's TikTok in the past.
We also saw her on Carolina Costner's Instagram story during this event. Carolina was singing Satoko's praises and giving her some love from far away. And okay, let's start with her ISU bio hobbies, because we haven't discussed that yet. Her hobbies are cooking, reading, and coloring.
Oh my gosh, she sounds like my BFF. She's gonna be my BFF. It's decided. It's happening.
And she can teach us how to TikTok.
She teaches how to TikTok since she has experience, and I only have experience scrolling at 3 a.m. and wasting my time on TikTok.
Okay, so let's start with the short program, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. I really like the dress. I really, really like the dress. It's a beautiful green number. The music, I also think, is so perfect. Thank you, Satoko. It is Nosien #1 by Eric Satie and Metamorphosis 2 by Philip Glass, because you know my love for Philip Glass, everybody.
Philip Glass. We should make t-shirts. We'll make t-shirts. Philip Glass shirts. The dress really reminds me, it's kind of like got nude mesh and these green crystals and details. It reminds me kind of like a Poison Ivy dress almost.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge Poison Ivy fan, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's a Poison Ivy dress. It's very nice on Satoko. Unfortunately, she did pop the triple loop into a double loop in the short program. However, just so nice to see her back. She has a beautiful lengthening of her lines, the completion of every motion.
Oh, yes.
You know, every step that she does extends all the way to the tippy tip of her fingertips. And that's something that my dance teacher was always screaming at me about is fingertips extend, you know, and she does all of that. She also has a beautiful layback spin. So happy to see that again, but really a shame about the loop in the short program.
Yes, but we definitely got to see more of Satoko's amazing performance qualities in her free program to Tosca. It was a different cut to Tosca at the beginning than most of us are used to, but okay, the step sequence gave me chills. It was a level 4 step sequence and I absolutely loved it. I was just like, Satoko, don't stop skating, please.
Never ever stop skating. But at the very end, she went down on the double axel triple toe, and I'm like, she doesn't do this.
No,
never
she doesn't.
happens to her on the double axel triple toe. So I don't know why that happened here. It was such a shame. It was the last jumping pass. It was going so well for her. I was like, who are you? This doesn't happen for you. But yes, not very different, but a different cut of Tosca, which is very welcome. An innovative Tosca cut. Imagine that. I also really enjoy this dress. I think it looks great on her. It's a 1-sleeve dress. The one sleeve is a long sleeve. It's this beautiful deep red, almost like red wine color, and it tapers to a V in the back, kind of on the back / side of her body. It looks great on her.
Satoko
I really love it.
Yeah, she really rocks that 1-sleeve look, doesn't she?
I mean, it's a good look on her. If I looked that good in a 1-sleeve dress, I would. Unfortunately, when I wear a 1-sleeve dress, it just looks like I've flipped one of my sleeves inside out and I'm trying to don clothes and have unfortunately done it incorrectly. It's not a cute look on me, but Satoko does it very well.
She does everything very well, pretty much. Like, keep skating for the rest of your life, please, because I will pay to see it.
Do it. And I'll stop wearing 1-sleeve dresses in exchange.
Somebody who we also never want to quit skating is Kaori Sakamoto, our silver medalist.
Fave. Absolute fave. Oh my gosh, I have so much to say about her. However, the first thing that I wanted to say about her was that I was scrolling on Twitter the other day and I found this tweet that was someone had put together this compilation of a comparison of 2 heat maps. One of them was, comparing her speed and ice coverage from last season compared to this season. And she has improved significantly in both of those areas, in her skating speed and in her ice coverage. I think that's amazing. Like, it literally is scientific fact, like, in front of your face that she has improved. And I love that for her.
I know. So, and thank you to Japanese TV and JSF for giving us these amazing breakdowns after they've skated. We've got heat maps. We have, jump metrics on like how far, high and wide and fast. I don't know what adjectives I'm using. But we got so much info, and I think this is correct, but Kaori and Rika beat some of the guys in terms of max speed hit across the ice. And I'm like, you go, girls.
I mean, none of the men are in the Matrix, so...
There we go. There we go. I mean,
There it
Yuzu's in the
is.
Matrix, but like he's been in the Matrix for like ages, so
Oh, he's been there. He's
been there, done that. He's still there. He is Keanu Reeves.
Oh my gosh, is that what's happening? Is Yuzu Keanu Reeves?
Shh. Have you ever seen Yuzu and Keanu Reeves in the same room?
You know, I personally haven't. This just reminds me of that Ali Wong movie where Keanu Reeves makes like the most awkward cameos, and I'm like, why are you here?
Keanu Reeves is like me in a personality. Like him and I share very similar personalities.
That should be your ISU bio. Hobbies, Keanu Reeves, that's it. Nothing else in your hobbies.
You know what? Sure. I'll take it.
One kind of Keanu Reeves, that's it.
There we go. There we go. That's it. One kind of Keanu Reeves. Back to Kaori though. In her short program, I swear I almost shit my pants on that triple flip double toe. Like the triple flip, her landing was like very pitched forward, and I let out a little yelp, not gonna lie.
Yeah, she was off axis. The landing was way far forward. It did cost her several points, but she somehow managed to save that combo. I was like, okay. However, had that not happened for her, Rika had 79 points in the short program, so I don't think that even with the addition of those points, had she jumped that triple flip clean with that combo, I don't think she would have been able to catch Rika anyways. I think she would have still been silver. So, but in the free program, okay, first of all,
girl,
every time
this was great.
she skates past those judges with her blade up in the air, I think she gets closer and closer to the judges every single time. This is the same analogy.
I was going to say she gets closer and closer to Nirvana because it's just like, I love her that much.
Is this the same analogy as like in like toddler? This is horrible. Like toddlers and tiaras, the moms are always like, the higher the hair, the closer to God. Like...
Yes.
Is this that analogy? I don't know where I'm pulling this from, but
I love it. I love it. Them judges leaned back, let me tell you.
yeah, there's literally like a gif that is Kaori skating past the judges and them leaning back, especially that one, the first judge that she skates past. That first judge was like, whew.
Look, I would pay for Kaori to skate that close to me, okay? Like, judges, come on. Show a little bit of respect.
I know. Why are you leaning back? Lean in, judges.
Definitely lean in.
You should be so obliged.
What was the tweet that we saw that was just like Kaori's, getting to their throats, threatening them to like, if you don't give me +5 GOE, I'ma come for you.
Yes, that is, and all of her teammates as well, because they are rather stringent, but that's a different conversation.
But she had a great triple flip, triple toe to open, along with that gorgeous double axel. Like,
oh, that double axel.
I keep dreaming of the day she gets that triple axel and has that same flow out of it. It's great. What I think the metrics were saying that the speed was 21 kilometers an hour and like the length was 3.5 meters or something. And I'm like, that's giant. That is giant.
Gosh. If she lands a triple axel in the Matrix program, we will see Keanu Reeves in the Kiss and Cry.
He just materializes.
He'll just materialize in the Kiss and Cry.
Like a hologram. He's just like sitting there. But socially distanced with that plexiglass in the middle. He comes up on the other side.
Oh, he'll be eating one of those ice cream bars from the Russian competition.
Stop.
He'll just be in the Kiss and Cry eating a dragon-shaped ice cream.
I can't wait for this to happen, Joss. I can't wait. This is canon.
It will happen because she will land a triple axel.
Exactly. Keanu Reeves popping up with that Russian ice cream. Oh, let's make it happen, ladies and gents.
Oh my gosh. But we should also talk about this new Matrix costume. This costume gives me No Roots vibes. It has strappy cutouts everywhere and like triangular shapes. It's a little bit like Lady Gaga-esque, especially in the top area. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this costume. I love it.
I love it. It's so good. It's so good. Maybe that's why she was like getting close to the judges, like, guys, see my cutouts, like, see this new dress. Don't I look fabulous?
Yeah, it's great. That's it. That's why. But it was just such a good program. She was so happy. We got a Kaori fist pump. I love a good Kaori fist pump. You know she's stoked when she fist pumps at the end. And she is the scrunchiest smile. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I love it.
Can you please scrunch your nose and smile all the time?
I absolutely love it. She skated clean and was so happy about that, of course. And I feel like, you know, she's just happy that she did her best in the free skate, because that's all that really matters, right?
It really is. And I'm just so happy to see her have a good season. I mean, even though it is this season in this dumpster fire of a year, but she skated so well this season, especially after having not a great season last year. You know, she's just been so happy and really coming into her own again. And I'm so happy because she's literally one of my favorites. So yeah, really happy.
She's one of my favorites too. And we love you, Kaori. Okay, let's move to our gold medalist, who we have not seen all season, and there has been such hype around this young lady, and that is, of course, Miss Rika Kihira.
Oh my gosh, yeah, she also has 2 new programs like Yuzu. Her short program is to The Fire Within, and her free program is to Baby God Bless You. And honestly, I'm really happy to see new programs from her, because last season her programs were really not my favorite. There was that one International Angel of Peace program, and then there was also that
I liked her short program though.
I don't even remember what
I
music
really
that
liked
was.
that. I liked it. I might have been like the 5% that liked it.
I did not enjoy that program. I'm sorry,
but
Rika.
It definitely is like an acquired taste, that program. But we see her here with Stephane Lambiel, and like, I love this partnership. We've been seeing little sneak peeks of this short program all over Instagram all season long, and we finally got to see the one-handed cartwheel.
Oh my gosh, that is such a fire cartwheel. But I okay. I don't remember getting little sneak peeks of on Instagram. It would have driven me crazy.
Guys, Shazam that right there. You'll get the song that we're talking about if you Shazam.
But anyways, let's talk about her short program. Again, it's to The Fire Within. There is a one-handed cartwheel. And the last time we actually heard this music was Junwon Cha did a program to The Fire Within. And I think that had a little bit of a different vibe, but both programs I really, really enjoyed.
Yeah. So in the short program, she banged out a triple axel. It was great. I'm like, good girl. She stumbled on the triple toe landing in her triple flip, triple toe combination. But the step sequence was absolutely fire, excuse the pun. Strike 2. I wasn't sure about the black tights though. I really liked the short program. I just wasn't sure about the black tights.
Oh my gosh, I have a black tights story. Okay, these looked more like black leggings than they did like black tights. But okay, I have a story about black leggings / black tights.
Yeah.
So at my wedding, all my bridesmaids / like girls in my wedding party, they had long dresses, like floor length dresses, and my matron of honor, literally my best friend of like 15 years from high school, she was wearing black leggings underneath her dress, but she actually did not take off her black leggings before we walked down the aisle. I mean, you couldn't see them or anything, but this literally reminded me of the moment at my wedding where my best friend was like, oh, actually I kept my leggings on because I was just too lazy to take them off. I was like, did that happen for you,
That's
Rika?
a mood right there, let me tell you.
Oh my gosh, it was so great. I mean, you couldn't see them or anything, and honestly, even if you could see them, I wouldn't have cared, but it just really reminded me of that moment where my best friend was like, actually, I didn't remove my black leggings, and that's totally fine.
Yeah, what did you think about the costume? Because I think it could have just done without the black leggings.
I really, yeah.
I didn't, like, it's not awful.
No, it's not terrible, but I really do think that the black leggings are not great. They're not my fave. I think that it needs to be a little bit, I think that black and red costumes are pretty like overdone. Like I think every lady skater has a black and red costume somewhere in their repertoire. I think it just needs a little more punch. Like it just needs a little, I don't know, something. It needs to lose the black tights / leggings, and it needs a little something somewhere else. I don't know what, but it just needs a little bit something else. However, I did really enjoy her warm toned eyeshadow look. I love a cute warm toned eyeshadow look, so I'm very into it.
Very, very true. She does love a hairpiece, so I mean that was a little something something. She had a gorgeous, lovely hairpiece in the free program too. So let's talk about that free skate. It's to Baby God Bless You by Shinya Kiyozuka. I love this dress, but okay, her tights don't match her skin tone. And the briefs of her dress are like sage green. And I love a purple sage green combo. But there was like a little thin like underskirt that was like somewhat green. But there was no green anywhere else on the costume. And like that's just a really, really nitpicky thing. But I was just wondering what you thought because you are our resident expert on the color wheel.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this did not please my color wheel obsession. It's not quite an eyesore like the combination of Daisuke Takahashi and Kana Muramoto's costumes in their short program where they're literally completely different color families. But yeah, I thought that green was interesting. I think we need to rethink the costumes in both the short program and the free skate, but yeah, I mean, overall in the free skate, I found it interesting because she had no Lutzes in the free skate, none. But I also found a tweet saying that the Lutz was aggravating her ankle. So I think that, I mean, obviously safety first. If it's bugging her, then no Lutzes for you.
Yeah, so she opened with a gorgeous quad sow. Like, there was a running edge and everything. And I'm like, girl, you make this look too easy. It was wonderful. She also went and did a triple axel next. It was called under rotated, but like still, bam, a statement. And I just thought, you know, in general, it was a cute, lovely free skate. And her expression at the end was the cutest thing. She was like happy, but like cutesy about it. I was just like, oh, Rika, I'm so glad you're back.
Oh my gosh, Rika has such a different energy from Kaori, but both have a great fist pump. Both have a great victorious fist pump. Very happy about it. So congratulations to our gold medalist, Rika Kihira. I honestly am just so happy that everyone is back here. The fam is back. It didn't feel right without them at NHK. All of them. Rika, Satoko, Shoma, Yuzu, everyone. The gang's all here, so.
The gang is all here. I didn't realize so many people were missing, but like now that they're back, you're like, how did we ever do without you guys?
I know. It's so unfortunate. But yeah, it really felt like something was missing at NHK, and something was obviously missing. There were 4 big heavy hitters missing. So, But just so happy to see everyone back here, and all the folks that were missing skated so well. I'm so happy to see them in great form right now.
Yes, and I think that wraps up all we have on the skaters for Japanese nationals. Let's get into the kiss and cry.
All right, so for our kiss and cry today, we only have one thing going on, which is our book recommendation. And the book that we are going to recommend today is inspired by Rika Kihira's short program, To the Fire Within. We wanted to choose another fiery type of book, and the book that we chose today is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. This is definitely a book that is more well known that we've picked. We try and choose books that are less well known, but this is just such an amazing book. It's literally one of my favorites that I've ever read. That of course we had to mention it. There is also a mini series on Hulu. It's so good. It stars Kerry Washington, Reese Witherspoon. Yeah, it's so good. I highly recommend the book and the miniseries, but let's talk about the plot. This book takes place in Shaker Heights in Ohio in the U.S. It opens with the Richardson house on fire, and the overarching mystery is trying to figure out who started this fire and why. But this book is not 100% a mystery at heart. It is a propulsive and very readable contemporary novel. It surrounds the Richardson family, and the mom is Elena, and she has basically like the picture perfect popular golden family in this town. She has 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls, and she lives a very comfortable life in the suburbs. There is a new woman who moves into town. Her name is Mia Warren, and she moves into a rental property of Elena's with her daughter Pearl. Elena's best friend adopts a baby from China, and this starts a different part of the plot. Mia gets involved and comes between Elena and her friend. The whole town is truly ablaze with this case. There are issues of race, immigration, socioeconomic privilege, and mother-daughter relationships. I love this book. I love Celeste Ng. The miniseries is so good. I highly recommend both the book and the TV show. It'll give you a lot to do. And this book is called Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng.
Yes, I mean, with quarantine, we've got a lot of nothing to do, so pick up this book. It is a great read. There's a lot going on anyway, so like keep the drama up in your life, guys.
It's really great. It's honestly one of those books that you like want to come back to and like leave on your nightstand and read before bed. It's amazing. So yeah, definitely highly recommend.
Yeah, and like we said, we don't really have much for our kiss and cry this episode, but we have a lot to say in our upcoming Russian national recaps, so stay tuned for those. Those are coming very soon. But for now, I think we're done for this episode.
So I am Joss, and you can come and chat with us at Lutz Get Down Pod, LUTZ, on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to work with us, shoot us an email at lutzgetdownpod@gmail.com.
If you like this podcast and are scared to do a one-handed cartwheel on ice like I am, please give us some 5-star love. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks y'all for listening.
Talk to you later. Bye.